Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Olivia Joseph here with
Dr. Anthony Pasek
of the Wellness Connection. So we are in the functional medicine department here, and we realize we're going into a season where people start to experience more stress because they're indoors a lot more, maybe they're not out in nature as much, things start moving faster.
Family
time, that could be stressful. You're spending a lot of money on holidays, so there's a lot of reasons why people tend to experience more stress in the winter months. One of those reasons is also low vitamin D levels, which we've talked about on another video. So what the heck is an adaptogen? They're gaining a lot of popularity. I'm actually seeing adaptogens show up in drinks in like fancy craft coffee shops. You'll see adaptogens showing up even in chocolates. So
some of those coffee alternatives, you know, like mushroom teas or like mud water, I'm sure.
Exactly. So what do they have? They have adaptogens. So they're herbs that help your body adapt to stress. So we're just going to list off a few. Usually these are more effective when they're combined versus used individually. So we don't use any of these adaptogens by themselves. We use them as part of a blend, which we'll talk a little bit more about. So what are some adaptogenic ingredients that come to mind for you?
Rhodiola is one.
Okay, another?
Ginseng
and ashwagandha. Those are probably, I would say rhodiola and ashwagandha are the most common popular ones. Ginseng is an oldie, but a goodie. But these are some of the most common adaptogenic herbs. So when we say they help your body adapt to stress, we don't use these products to lower cortisol. We don't use these products to raise cortisol. We use them in people we know are like type A, going through a stressful time of their life. We also use it in people where we test their cortisol levels and we check to see what type of cortisol imbalance they have. So usually we'll use some type of formula to correct the cortisol curve or imbalance, but then adaptogens are okay to take long term. That's the cool thing, because they're not going to change cortisol. You don't want to manipulate cortisol unless you know what's going on. So what I want to say is there's a lot of cool things out there that help you deal with stress outside of adaptogens. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Let's go supplement wise and then we'll cover lifestyle.
You know, theanine.
Love that.
Kind of a chill factor, kind of a calm down effect.
Theanine is used for anxiety and focus, and you'll find it in a lot of sleep formulas. It's in mine. It's mine that I create. I love theanine. We give it to kids. It comes in chewables. So theanine helps keep your GABA levels healthy, and GABA is a neurotransmitter that impacts focus and anxiety. So I'm a huge fan of theanine. Some people do use theanine by itself. I think it needs to be combined with magnesium. We all know magnesium is my favorite nutrient. So I really, really love seeing theanine and magnesium used together. Because another thing magnesium does is it affects your nervous system. So you have this nervous system that's broken into two parts. One is called your sympathetics. That's your fight or flight. And then you have your parasympathetics, which are supposed to turn on at night when it gets dark. Cortisol levels are supposed to come down, you're supposed to be chill, have no trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. I realize that's not the reality for a lot of people, especially when they're going through a time of stress. So I feel that magnesium is one of those nutrients that's foundational. You would do something like that before you would start using adaptogens. I probably feel that way about theanine too. I really like seeing that with magnesium, so I created a magnesium supplement. That's magnesium, glycinate, theanine. It also has passion flower and valerian root. And those are calming herbs. They're not adaptogens, but they're calming herbs, because passion flower, it can be used as a natural muscle relaxer, a natural sleep aid, but it won't make you sleepy or groggy. And valerian root really supports mood and even hormones, and hormones play into cortisol levels. So there are some other really sexy ingredients that also are not adaptogens, but are combined with adaptogens. Those are going to be called neurotropic ingredients, and all that means is that it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So what are some neurotropics that come to mind for you?
Bacopa is a big one.
So Bacopa is not something a lot of people know about. We use a formula that combines adaptogens with Bacopa. So Bacopa crosses the blood-brain barrier, lowering neuroinflammation. And that allows your pituitary gland to have a better job regulating your adrenals, cortisol levels, thyroid, sex hormones. So I hope what you're hearing over and over and over again is we're talking about stress, we're talking about lifestyle, we're talking about adaptogens, but how that overlaps to healthy magnesium, healthy vitamin D, and how that overlaps with your adrenals, thyroid, and hormone system. So one other one I want to mention, which is hugely popular now, gaining tons of popularity in the last few years, which again is not an adaptogen, is CBD or hemp oil. So CBD works a lot like Bacopa in that it crosses that blood-brain barrier, reducing neuroinflammation, which improves pain for some people,
Big time.
anxiety, sleep for some people, and also improves that HP axis function. So let's cover a few lifestyle things that help your body properly adapt to stress. I think I know what you're going to say is your number one, but I'm going to let you say it and we'll see.
Sleep?
Sleep.
Okay.
Sleep.
I was hoping you'd say that.
He's so big on sleep hygiene, and I completely agree. Now, we understand that when you're under times of stress, it may be harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. That's when you have to, in my opinion, force sleep. I don't care if you have to use methods like melatonin and natural sleep aids and hot Epsom salt baths and intense exercise to release endorphins and getting sunlight on your eyes for 10 minutes on your eyeballs first thing in the morning. So
a sleep pillow or something, you know, making your room totally dark.
Totally dark. The right temperature, which is it 68 degrees? I think that's as low as I think that's as low as I can get my husband to go in my house. He won't let me go below that.
We're like 62, 64.
Yeah, so it is the lower the better for sleep. It really truly is. So sleep is so important. And so are some of the other things that I said. Exercise. Exercise is a phenomenal way to get your body releasing endorphins. And sleep and exercise, those endorphins last you for at least 24 hours. However, there are unhealthy ways to get endorphins too, which a lot of people rely on during times of stress. What are some things that you think of?
Stimulants, stuff that give you rewards. You know, food or drugs or alcohol or sex. You know, things that activate your reward system.
Exactly. And not to say that sex cannot, it can be a healthy way to have endorphin production. However, exercise and sleep have a longer lasting effect than those other things do. If you go after food to try to get happy and deal with stress, that endorphin rush is very, very short. If you go after drugs, alcohol, that endorphin rush, any type of stimulant, nicotine, it's very short-lived. So not to say that things in moderation are a problem, but when you're relying on those things, there are healthier ways to go about it. And if you find yourself relying more and more and more, stuck in a rut with some of those unhealthy things, using something like adaptogens, neurotropics, theanine, magnesium, having healthy vitamin D levels, they're going to set the foundation for you. They just take that edge off so that you can make better choices. Ideally get better sleep and put it in your plan to exercise. And a lot of reason why people quit exercise is they tell me, I don't have enough time. We all have the same 24 hours, right? We're busy, believe me. We have little kids, I totally get that. Another reason people don't exercise is because they don't like it. Find something that you like. There's something physically active that can release endorphins that you would like. Another reason is I don't see results. So sometimes people don't exercise because they don't see weight loss, they don't see their body composition change. That's a lot to do with your nutrition, to be honest with you. Weight loss is like 70% nutrition, 30% exercise. So don't do it for those reasons. Do it for the reason of health. Not just cardiovascular health, but mental health and insulin health and how you deal with stress overall. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Make sure you share this video because we're going into stress season. And if there's any topic you're interested in us doing a video on, put it in the comments and we'll add it to our list of videos that we'll be producing for you on a weekly basis.
One more?
Yeah.
So, guided meditation or deep breathing, so critical. You talked about the sympathetics, that's your fight or flight nervous system.
Yeah.
You can just, without your intention or desire or like belief even in does this thing work or not, if you just do deep breaths for 30 seconds, 5 minutes, it will dial down your sympathetic nervous system and turn up your parasympathetics, which is rest and digest, or feed and breed, or kind of the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You don't have to do anything else, just deep breathing. Pop up a YouTube video and just listen to somebody saying breathe in, breathe out, and that's enough to really change stress.
I can't believe we didn't say that. A meditation is huge, and if your mind wanders, use guided meditations. I've seen research that as little as 3 minutes starts to change your physiology. 3 minutes. You mentioned YouTube videos. There are some great ones. I'm a huge fan of this Insight Timer app. It's a free app. It's got guided meditations. So there's no wrong way to meditate, and it's all about the breathing. There's something about that breathing that is just totally healing and therapeutic to your body. So just do it. Just do it. And even if it's as little as 3 minutes a day, and that's how I feel about exercise. Just do it. Just do it. Find something you like. As little as 10 minutes a day can impact your sleep, your energy levels, your hormone production, all that good stuff.
I really like the Headspace app too.
That's a good one too.
It's kind of like, you can go through different journeys and different tracks and stuff, and you can see your progress. So those are good things.
So we will see you guys next week.
Yep.
Take care. Bye.